Hello, this is going to be my first YouTube video of hopefully what is many more to come. Mostly I will be reviewing things that I think are interesting, books, movies, TV shows, products, I don't know, uh, things people ask me to review, but considering probably nobody's going to see these videos, at least for quite a while, the first couple of videos will mostly just consist of whatever I feel like reviewing, including this one, in which I have here a copy of The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka, and specifically the one that I am looking at today is this one called A Fratricide. So, all in all, it's a very short story. It's only about 2 pages in total, and this is like a standard size book. It's not exceptionally large. But about 2 pages in length, and in that time, it leaves you asking a lot of questions. So, what happens is there is a man named Schmar, at least I believe that's how you pronounce it, a man named Wes, a man named Palace, and a woman named Frau Wes. Uh, Wes is a businessman. He's working in this building late into the night. Uh, Outside of the building, down the street a little bit, is Schmar, who is waiting for Wes to leave so that he can murder him. I don't know if I can say murderer or not. Who is waiting to unalive Wes. There's Palace, who is living in an apartment across the street from where this is going to happen, and he has a very clear view of Schmar on the street. He can see him with the knife. And then there is Frau Wes, who is seemingly the wife of Wes, who is waiting for her husband to come home. Wes leaves the building. He is walking down the street and he pauses for a second, as Schmar is standing around the corner waiting for him. And Palace is still sitting there watching, and he does not say anything, nor does he do anything. He just watches and waits until Wes finally takes that next step forward into Schmar's blade. Uh, Schmar then begins kind of like he gives a speech for a while. He mentions actually Schmar. He mentions Wes's wife, who apparently is also named Julia. Says Julia is waiting in vain. He continues to puncture Wes, uh, and he mentions something about a dumb question that Wes is asking. However, we don't hear any of the stuff that Wes is saying. Only after all of this has happened does Palace leave from his window watching, and he comes and confronts Schmar, telling him that he has witnessed everything. The police come. Frau Wes arrives. Also, Julia Wes arrives. She's crying over the body of her husband. And Schmar, who before seemed incredibly happy about what he had done, is now almost about to throw up, seemingly from the guilt of what he has done. But it leaves you with a lot of questions. Why? Why has Schmar done this? It's called a fratricide. Are they like physically related? Are they actually brothers, or is it one of those things they've just been friends for so long that they consider each other brothers? And if they are, why does Wes must have done something pretty awful to make Schmar want to kill him. And the mention of Julia is the most likely hint that it might have had something to do with Frau Wes. So maybe the Julia was originally with Schmar, or Schmar was interested in Julia, and but instead she got with Wes, and he was very jealous over this. Uh, Another question is, why does Pallas wait? Why does he sit and watch and wait until this murder has been committed to, he could have given Wes warning, told him, he could have shouted out to the street, allowed Wes to run away and then gone and locked his door so that Schmar couldn't come up and kill him. But instead he waited. And then the other question that I was thinking about a lot is, what is this dumb question that Wes supposedly asks? Because, as I said, Schmar mentions Wes asking a dumb question as he is uh, being. Uh, but what I thought was, it was like he was probably asking why. Yeah, why are you doing this to me? Especially if they did consider each other brothers, he would be wondering why. What has he done to Schmar to deserve this? But Schmar probably, and he also probably isn't too mentally okay, Schmar. He probably thinks that Wes knows what he has done, so he's saying, what are you asking this stupid question for? You know what you've done, you adulterer. If we do assume that it has something to do with cheating, but yeah, and we don't know. A lot of the story is left up to interpretation, and that's something that I think is very interesting. Uh, Kafka was a very interesting, tragic writer. Uh, I haven't read a lot of his stuff, mostly just skimmed some of the other stories. I actually still haven't read The Metamorphosis in its entirety yet. Uh, but Before the Law is another one that's very interesting. I have a copy somewhere of, I believe it's called The Tower, is another one of his stories that I will need to read. It's very interesting, and so I will probably talk more about some of his stuff, some of his writings, or maybe just about his life, uh, and what might have inspired him to write what he did. Uh, but for now, that will be it.